We live,
All
baby.
right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final round boxing podcast presented by
It's good
Family
to be
Talk.
back.
Let's discuss it.
It's good to be
We are
back.
finally back. Yes, it is. We're we have Brandon just disappeared on us. He was here, but we got myself and Justin and Chef Jimbo. Here you go. You know why we here. We here to talk about that trilogy fight from
Talking
last
about them,
night.
talking about them double championships. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong. Sorry, wrong podcast. My bad.
We are here. So we gonna jump right into it. Fellas, man,
Now
that was
y'all
an
can hear me.
awesome fight.
I tell you
We
what.
Amazing
can
I
hear
tell
fight.
you
you
what.
now.
Time
Amazing
out.
fight.
No,
Time
no, no,
out.
no, no. What we finna do first is we're gonna
We're gonna let
we ain't been
Jimmy.
here. We're gonna get to Jimmy because he been ghost. He been Casper all day from everybody, from somebody that don't run away from nobody. He been Casper. So give me 1 second. But we ain't been here in a while. So we gotta let our fans know that we're gonna be back on a regular basis pretty soon. We all been a little bit busy, but this is a special edition of the Final Round podcast. I just want to make that clear. Now, Justin, we can get on Jimmy.
No, I was all about letting Jimmy
Hey,
have the first
before
2 minutes
you
so he can start
before
laying
you
out some
before
excuses.
you before you start that, we'll be right back.
Get ready to rumble!
Well, it's clearly has been Kevin fading away now. The reach advantage here. We'll see how he uses it. Big left hook and Ruiz in trouble. Tua comes right out with a big Whitaker to his game. I know I'm going to land it somewhere here. Power is simply
We back live in full effect. The final round podcast. After an amazing bout last night. I loved it. I loved every ounce of it.
Love it. Why you
Um,
so ghost today?
I was supposed to say something to y'all.
Why you so ghost? Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
supposed to say something to y'all.
yeah. You
No,
was
I
because
mean,
had he
you
won,
were you were.
had he won, we would have been hearing from you all day. So
Had,
why
we,
Nah,
you so
had he won, I would have blocked your ass today
exactly?
nah.
because you
Why
would
you
have
been
not
ghost?
shut up.
Why you been ghost? Where you been at, man?
I
Yeah,
I've
where you
been
been
here.
at?
I ain't been nowhere. I've
Where you
been
been
here.
at? You been at the Deontay Wilder snap in the chat
Oh,
talking about how he got
he
cheated?
trying to play it cool right now. That's what he doing. He trying to play it cool. Had to go change. Hey T, what's good?
You doing
Nah, I've
research
been
on
here.
gloves, trying to find a reason?
Nah. But check this out though. So
Now
we
he
had a
done
great
changed the
fight.
subject. He don't want to talk about it now.
Nah, I've
He
been
don't want to
here.
talk about. We had a great fight.
I've
You
been
said no.
here.
We had a great fight. It's an amazing fight. We had a great fight. Let's
There go
go.
my boy right there.
I see. Now you ain't say that about us. We
There
your boys
go
today.
my boy right there.
Yeah.
Sal,
How y'all doing?
what's up,
Hold
Hey,
on,
man?
what's
hold
up,
on.
man?
You ain't say hello to us.
Hey, how
I
y'all
did
doing?
say hey to y'all.
Oh man, here
Hey,
we
hey,
go.
we got to get Sal in and out. Sal, we just got started. We was about to talk about the fight.
Okay,
Anything you
right
want?
now.
I know you busy, so go ahead and get everything off your chest right now.
Is there any specific part of the fight that you want to
Man,
talk
I
about?
was I was gonna go through everything that I saw, everything.
I can't
I,
hear you,
I was
Sal.
gonna go through everything.
I
Yeah,
can't
no
hear you,
doubt. I
Sal.
can give you my 2 cents.
Sal, turn your volume up.
All right. How about now?
It's a little bit better, yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of variables in the fight. Um, as far as weight goes, he was a lot heavier,
hmm
and that could have played a big impact on Deontay's performance. And am I still on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you good. You
Okay,
good. You good.
okay, so with that being said, I feel like that could have been a part of his performance, and also like kind of like what Sean Porter's dad said, that he was real tense and he was fighting off of emotion
Yeah.
on the first couple rounds, and I feel like that took a toll on him. And Sean Porter dad made a great input as far as him not breathing properly and didn't really
Yeah.
set the tone. It seemed like he got winded way too fast, and he had like his body shots were looking good. He didn't. I feel like when he was throwing them, he was landing them, and he kind of stopped doing it as much. And I think he could have prepared a little bit better for the little cheap strategy as far as putting his weight on Wilder, because that was a great strategy and it worked last
Yeah.
time and it worked this time. As far as whoever you put that much weight on is going to get tired a lot faster. So that's pretty much facts in my book.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, I feel like if I was the referee in that fight, I would have stopped it a little sooner, just for you got to be more concerned about the fighter's life. And the thing is, a lot of those wars they take a lot of fight out of people, and Tyson's not a big puncher, but anybody can knock anybody out if they're gonna hit somebody 100 times. So it's kind of like it seems like it's even worse when you get hit and you just get knocked out, or you just take a whole bunch of punches. Could have been over 100 punches, close to 200 punches. But that seems like even more dangerous to take that much smaller, smaller punches instead of harder punches. So I mean, I have mixed reviews on that, but obviously, Deontay showed his heart, and we all got to give him credit for that. And I feel like he didn't even have to go towards the later rounds to get that credit. You know what I mean? Regardless, they should have took points already from Tyson from who knows, maybe like the 6th round for putting him in the headlock that many times. I mean, those little key elements could have changed the whole fight. Because you imagine if they would have took a point from him, in the 5th, 6th round, he might have changed his whole strategy. But they let him get away with it for God knows what, 6, 7, 8 rounds. So if he didn't get away with that, who knows how the fight would have been. So those things that you really got to take into account. Regardless, it's going to go down in the books that he finished Deontay, and that's a huge name. You got the Bronze Bomber underneath your belt, regardless on paper. You can have I can have all my opinions of how it could have went, how it should have went, but when we look back at history book 10 years from now, it's going to show that he got the name under his belt, and that's like I told Jimmy last night. You can get away with anything if the ref doesn't call it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Legal things become legal. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's just unfortunate for boxing. I don't know why they don't use a camera a lot more to hold the fighters more accountable. It makes you think that it's really corrupt and whatnot, the politics in it. But I mean, we're gonna keep watching it. There's a lot of the fighters there that were, huge fans and we support. So I mean, big ups to him. If anything, I'm praying for his health. I don't want to see anyone, I don't want to see his career end. But I know I would suggest for him to take a long time off, just even like 8 months, a year before his next fight, just to let that. That's a lot of pressure, man. That's like I was telling somebody last night. That fight could have been equivalent to being in 6, 7, 10 car accidents. I mean, you get in car accidents and you don't even feel as bad as some of those punches that they take. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, we appreciate that insight, Sal, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
We definitely appreciate that insight. Hey, Jody, nice for you to join us, buddy.
Well, what's going on, Mr. CEO?
Man, you know what it is. You know what it
Kelly,
is.
how you doing today, brother? How you feeling?
Been a rough couple of 12 hours, man, but I'm cool.
I'm glad to see you up. Mr. Justin, what's going on, my guy?
What up, Jody?
What's happening with you, Mr.
Nah,
Sal?
brother,
Nice
what's
to
up
meet
to
you.
you?
Oh man,
You as well, man.
you know what? I was outside hanging out with the old heads. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, I just got this ping on my phone, and I seen you gentlemen up here, and I said, I know they ain't start this ass whooping talk, and then they invite me. So I figured I had to
Nah,
come on here.
you know you always invited, my brother. You always invited.
But I was listening to what you just said, Sal. And what you said was 100% correct. Like it looked like it looked like a car wreck out there, bro. It didn't look great.
Multiple, man. It's multiple. I mean, if you're catching that many punches, man, I'd rather be in a car wreck than eat some of them boys' punches. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
it didn't look great out there.
I mean, let's be honest. This really didn't look a whole lot different to me than the second fight. I mean, it was the same thing. Punch, clinch, control, punch, clinch, control, punch, clinch, control. It was the same fight. That's all it was. It's the same tactic that he used to beat him the last time.
I just don't understand. Like, I saw a lot. I just don't understand why Deontay didn't. You know how Foreman did back in the day. You know, he had that little forearm push you off. Why didn't you do that? You know what I'm saying? Because you knew what he was coming to do.
Yeah, but with George, though, that was a natural thing that George developed on his own. You're talking about a guy that's trying to build a one-off defense for a guy that you're going to face one more time. I mean, don't get me wrong. It can be useful throughout the rest of your career when you fight a guy with a long reach like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you're talking about he's already mindset and prep, trying to build off of what, in that second fight. He's trying to throw that Alabama power, stuff and knock him out one blow, and it's not that fight.
Let me just get you. I got a lot to say about this.
We know you do. You've been quiet
All
all day.
right. So
You've been
in the
building all
beginning
day.
of the fight, the first round, he did really good. And like Sal said, we were there. And even I pointed out in my mind, but Sal actually came out and said, like, he's so tense. He's not loose. He look at Fury, look at him. He's not loose at all. And I'm like, yeah, he's tight. He's tense. He's overly excited. And he just drained himself in those first two rounds. He completely drained himself. He was overzealous. It's like, I just wish. And another thing, Deontay, he was not listening to his corner. He was not listening to Malik Scott. Malik Scott was telling him, hey, we know you got your right hand, but you need to go back to the fundamentals. A 1-2 combo. 1-2-3 combo. If you're going to hit him with that right hand, you need to follow back up with something else. You just can't hit him with, because Fury was doing that a lot. Fury wasn't doing a lot of combo punches like he normally does. And if you go back and look at some of Deontay's other fights versus Ortiz, versus Brazier, I think that's his name, and a couple other guys, he was following up. He was doing combos 1-2-3, 1-2. It wasn't just a one punch. And sometimes he would hide his right hand behind his jab. He wasn't jabbing like he was supposed. He wasn't doing a lot of stuff. But like when I saw it, Sal, I was like, I just thought about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, like, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And
I agree what you're saying, but I think what he built his plan around was preparing for that clinch.
no, he did, but he was tired. He couldn't do nothing.
Well, so you are correct with the way he looked in the first rounds, but there's a lot of pressure on that kid's shoulders right there. So that's his second time he's lost to that guy. So would you say that his career is now tarnished?
No, not at all. Because you can't say that his career is tarnished when you look at people like Muhammad Ali and Manny Pacquiao. All these guys, they lost to one guy multiple times, and everybody will say that, oh, Muhammad Ali is the greatest. Oh, Manny Pacquiao, he's one of the greatest that we've ever saw. Y'all will give it to them. So no, I don't think it tarnishes anything to him. He just need to learn. He should have did what he did the first fight. He should have boxed him on the outside. Deontay was moving a little better on the first fight. The last two fights, he came in with that clinching. He kind of slowed Deontay down. He slowed down that right hand. Deontay was always backing up. And if you look when he was backing up with his wrong foot too. Sal taught me about the footwork.
But Sal also said it as well. This is not the same fighter from that first fight. This is a bigger Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
Not as mobile Deontay Wilder either. You got to realize that when you start putting on weight, so like Deontay's not jumping weight class. We watch guys like Manny and Roy Jones Jr. and a lot of those other guys go up and down in weight class. That's just a lot of weight to start, and then he's adding weight plus muscle mass. He's changing his complete persona as a boxer around.
20 pounds.
And, to that point, his footwork was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, it kind of always has been to me, but that's just because he's an unorthodox young guy that picked up boxing late, that's just strong and powerful and has found a niche. And, and that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, he's got to start to listen to those guys in his corner because it's not like it's not like they're against him.
Right.
They want him to win. But if you're not listening to your corner and you're not winning, man, that's just on you.
Yeah, he didn't do. If he would, I really believe if he would have utilized his jab when Tyson tried to come up, just to keep him off of him so that he can place himself in a proper way.
Yeah.
I think would have been better off.
Now Tyson Fury is a different boxer. Let's be honest. He's not orthodox by any means at all. He's a weird cat. World champion crack smoker. Hardcore. But the dude's got power, and the dude he does what he does best. He got in his head. He won that mental battle before they even came to the arena.
I don't think he was in his head.
Oh, yes, he was.
I don't think he was in his head.
He was. He was in his head in the second fight. He was in his head this one.
Tyson Fury, he showed a lot of nervousness in the press conference. He was acting a little bit out of character to me, Tyson.
Bro wouldn't sit down in his chair. That's a sign of nervousness right there. Bro wouldn't even sit down in his chair during the press conference.
But listen, Tyson won, and I like the quote that I saw from Deontay afterwards. He said, "Hey, the better man won tonight." He said, "I don't know what happened." He said, He said, "I got no excuses." He said, "I lost," and yeah, he gave him credit.
His path after the second fight.
Well, the second fight he was cheated. So why would that be his path?
What?
He was not cheated. My God.
Why would that be his path?
Here you are with that garbage again.
Why would that be his path?
Because he lost.
You want the man to lie?
He lost.
To a cheater? A known cheater at that?
At the end of the day, he lost. Whether he's a cheater or not, he lost.
Well, here's some input.
Lost.
Tyson Fury had a lot of pressure on him with everybody accusing him of cheating with the gloves. So, they both had a ton of pressure on them, but regardless, you got to think that's a 74
He was 77, 277.
Right? 77. How tall? 6'8"?
He's like
he's 6'9".
6'9".
6'9". Listen,
6'9".
did you watch him on the 10th round?
Yeah.
With his happy feet moving like he was in the first round?
Yep.
Dude, his feint, you can have all your plan regardless. His footwork is that much better. His jab, his range, his height, his weight, all across the board. He had him beat on paper. He had him beat on skill. I mean, he's got probably, double the amount of time boxing compared to Deontay? You know what I mean? So it's been engraved in his being. He's a third generation fighter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they both had a lot of pressure, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, the way they performed, I mean, if anything, that the skills that he did with the clinch, it just made it that much easier to beat Deontay. And Deontay let him get away with it. He did what he did the first time. He had the second time. He had the warning because I'm sure he would use that to anybody because he's taller than everybody he fights. So that's his go-to move. Like, hey, if I put my weight on you, you got to carry my weight. You're going to get tired. So it works every time. I'm sure it works in sparring when he spars anybody. You know what I'm saying? So those things, I mean, it's his go-to move. You can't really, unless you're really good at getting out of the clinch and you got the conditioning for it. But he didn't come well prepared enough, and he, evaded his plan with the jab to the body. It seemed like that was landing, but he didn't do it anymore. So I mean,
So what's y'all view on the ref after the ref gave him like 2, 3, 4 warnings about clinching, and then he kept doing it? But yeah, that's all. Like, I just want to see what's everybody's view on that, because the ref gave him a warning. He said, "Hey, stop landing on him, stop clinching," but he kept doing it, and the ref
kept on letting him get away with it.
Yeah. So what are y'all point? What's y'all view on that?
Obviously, it shouldn't have happened.
It's a common.
But who's above the ref that's going to stop that, though? You know what I'm saying? Somebody else has to stop that. I mean, y'all are right. He shouldn't have been clinching.
I think it's a smart game plan from Tyson, but for the ref to give you a warning.
It is, because why should his fight be different than any other boxing fight that we watch where there's clinching? Not to that level.
But every ref different.
Granted and correct. Yep. This is no different than a basketball or NBA game. Every referee is different. Everyone views things different. Now, granted, me personally, I think when he went down, when the ref called it, he should have at least gave him the count rather than just wave it off. But that's that ref.
You talking about when Deontay fell the last time?
Yeah.
Nah, I would have waved that off too.
He was asleep.
I would have waved that off.
He was asleep, but still.
He was knocked out.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my guy. But I would have waved him off. I'm like, nah, he done. After that,
I would have waved him off a couple rounds before that. That was crazy.
I kind of agree with Sal. I mean, he took an ass whooping.
Man, I'm playing brain right now.
I mean, in this day and age, I mean, shoot, what was it? I just seen another what was it? An MMA boxer die a month ago.
Exactly.
From head trauma.
It's been 3 boxers died this year in the ring. 3.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the last month though.
Yeah.
Like
this was a month after the fight.
Oh, the MMA person died a month after the fight. See, yeah. Yeah, but Sal was in there. Sal was like, they need to call the fight. Like, what, Sal, you were saying that, what, the 7th, 8th round? I think you were saying that.
I couldn't imagine somebody that I cared for that I'm watching in the training camp and I'm cornering them and I'm responsible. I'm the extra set of eyes. And
you're his lifeline.
Like, bro, you saw his wife crying.
How am I going to feel about myself? Like, I let him go out on the shield, man. Listen. How am I going to explain that to his daughter?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you?
Did you see his wife crying?
This ain't Rocky. This is real life.
Yeah.
But still, he complained about that last time. He fired his trainer for throwing in the towel for protecting him. So this time around, the trainers and the ref was like, we just let it go.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that sometimes you employ your corner to save you from yourself.
Yeah.
Because there is no boxer in the world
and that's what they did the last fight.
Correct.
And I think he was right for that. But another point of view I just had, I mean, this is boxing. This is not real fighting. But when you sit there and analyze how Tyson Fury bullied that man, I mean, bro, without all those, breaking it off, I mean, he manhandled Wilder. I mean, regardless, the back of Deontay Wilder's neck was smelling like Tyson Fury's armpit. I mean,
yep.
I'm talking about, dude, he manhandled them. Every time they got wrapped up, he wrapped them up like a noodle, man. That's crazy. So, I mean, imagine if they didn't have, it's just that much taller.
And if I'm his corner, and like Sal said, if I'm looking at the 10th round and Tyson is still bobbing and weaving and moving his feet like that,
time to go.
Like, no, sorry, bro, towel's in. Let's go ahead and pack him and go home because this is done. Yeah. Let's protect our guy. Let's fight another day.
Exactly. Right. Enjoy those millions and your daughter and your wife.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because the millions ain't gonna mean nothing when you sitting there talking like some of these fighters that you can't even make a sentence or your tone change, like you sound like, some caveman trying to, break down words and whatnot. So.
But regardless, through all this, man, it was an amazing fight. I think I part of me just imagine like I wonder what if like he would have hired Malik Scott years ago.
You would
You
see,
hear what I'm saying?
you'd see a completely different
You should
boxer.
have hired Mayweather, man.
Well, they was beefing, and I'm with Deontay on that. Like Mayweather, I don't like how he moved, bruh. Like he real foul.
You're right.
He foul in how he move. I don't get down with that.
That's your boy, though.
Yeah.
Ain't that your boy?
Yeah, he's he the GOAT.
Oh.
But personal life, I don't like how he move. I don't like how he treat his fighters. I don't like how he run his business.
I feel
You know, I can't get down with that at all in any circumstance.
That's because he's trying to turn himself into Don King Jr.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
Pop out, you gonna pop out here next year with that hair?
Oh yeah. He got the hair now. But yeah, man, it was a great fight. Deontay always had my respect. He got more of my respect now. Just saying how he kept getting up, never wanted to give up. And I gotta say, Tyson, I gotta give it to him in his corner. They had a plan, and they say he didn't. He kind of like Bill Belichick. He didn't show us that he could stop our original plan. So we're gonna stick to the original plan
Stick to
and
it
see
till
if he
you
can
can't
stop it.
Yeah, stick to it.
So they got my respect off that. You know what I'm saying? The better man won last night. You got to give it to him.
Now you get it. If he goes into another title fight, say he fight Anthony Joshua, and that referee's different. They don't allow.
He's gonna murder Anthony Joshua.
Correct. I mean, Anthony Joshua's last fight, I didn't see that happening, but I mean,
Telly, Anthony Joshua ain't who you think he is, bro. I've been trying to tell you that.
I think he's done as far as I'm concerned.
Bro, he's a robot. Telly,
Let me tell you,
he's a robot.
He matches up well against Fury.
No,
His
he
style
doesn't.
is, and yes, he
Oh,
does.
yeah.
Nah.
Yeah,
His style matches up well with Fury. Dude.
I'm just sorry, man. When you're 6'9", 270, 280 pounds, and you're moving like that in the 10th and 11th rounds,
Yeah.
dude, that's a freak. There is no other there. You can talk about conditioning and training all you want, dude. That is a modern marvel of sports science, conditioning, of where we're at, and just sports in general right now. Because you watch all those great prize fights from the 60s and the 70s, 10th, 11th round, them boys were just dying.
Yeah.
There's nobody moving like that. And
Not at
Fury,
277.
and let me tell you something.
That's
Fury don't look like no damn athlete.
No, his body type. And you look at his body, you like
He looks like an overweight,
this fat
out of
dude
shape
out
swimmer.
here.
He got a dad bod.
It pissed me off so much.
+1.
Malik Scott was saying like, hey, he was saying, bro, punch his body, punch his chest, punch his stomach. Don't go for the head. Just wear him down. And he was not listening. I'm like, Deontay, you gotta listen to your corner.
But what's funny though is that
he confused Tyson because them jabs to the body, that was confusing Fury. Fury wasn't even active in the first round. He was actually backing up. He kept jabbing.
Well,
I'm like, Fury gonna figure that out, and he gonna revert back to what he doing.
But Tyson called that too.
I think those first 3 rounds, all that was Tyson can outlast him. He's letting him show his card to see what his plan of battle is going to be for that fight. And then after that, he's going to be like, you know what? Clinch works. Let's go back to that game. We're going to grind his ass out.
I don't think that was his plan. I think his plan was to let him tire himself out. Because if you remember, after the second round, Sugar Hill, when Tyson went to the corner, Sugar Hill said, hey, we got him where we want him. Look at him. He's tired.
Yeah.
Do what you do. Do what you do. And then Tyson went and did what he did.
Yep.
He was like, now he's tired. Let's go.
Now we'll be curious. Now I'm kind of curious to see now moving forward because of the conversation around clinching and allowing that. You know, it's been allowed for years.
Yeah.
Just not to this point. And it's just, let's be honest, it's somebody that's smart, that found kind of a little thing. It's not a loophole, but referees just don't call it like that because they don't see it like that. Will this bring upon some type of change, or I don't think it will. Boxing will remain the exact same dirty sport it has been for the last 70 years.
Yeah, it's corrupt. It's dirty. Hands down. Hands down.
Good fight though.
That was a fair
I'll say that
fight.
100%.
That fight was fair. Now, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. I got a little nervous in the fourth. I'm like, damn, he knocked him down twice.
I was
Like,
nervous
shit.
the whole freaking fight. I was nervous before the fight.
But that
Shoot.
but that
one,
second
though,
knockdown was a
that
slip.
second knockdown though, like when you look at the look on his face, he was just kind of like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he
was
just got up and
I
went
could
back to
tell he
work.
was getting up. I was like, he getting up because he didn't have a glazed look on his face.
Did y'all?
Nah,
But wait.
Nah, he didn't have that glazed look on his face. He had that look of just like, man, I cannot believe I just let that happen.
Did y'all
Right, he was
hear?
looking like, "Wait."
Were y'all paying attention to Andre Ward at all during the fight?
Yeah, I was
No.
listening to
Andre Ward said something. He said something, and I caught it. I got to go back and try to find the footage.
What'd he say?
After Tyson Fury got knocked down the first time, and then he got up, he got knocked down the second time, and the ref did his count and he got up. Andre Ward said something very interesting. I'm gonna go look it up. He said
the slow count.
the count. Yeah, he said that was
Said
the
the slow
slowest count I've ever seen in my life.
He said there was two slow nine
around
counts.
which
He said it
time-
was 2 slow counts. Yep. So you heard him.
Around
Yeah, I
which
heard.
knockdown was it? Was it the second or the third?
The first
He
and
said
the
it
second.
after the first and the second.
I believe he said it after the second.
The
Yeah.
second one? I didn't catch it.
Now I don't know. I don't know if he got up before 10. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I heard Andre say that. But I couldn't rewind it because I was watching it live.
Yeah, but a guy like Tyson, who is, let's be honest, he's a smart boxer. He's not going to rush to his feet.
No. He was saying a ref did a slow
I know
count.
what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying that was just him calculating, taking his sweet time to get as much breath as he could get.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah,
that
ain't nothing wrong with that. Walter Payton did the same
Alright,
thing.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, slow count or not, I mean, a ref's count is a ref's count. The only thing that you would hope for is that the first count is the same as the second count. So if it's a slow count on the first count, it should be a slow count on the second count. Or if it's fast on the first, it needs to be fast on the second. You're just looking for equal across the board.
Right.
It's like in
think he had
baseball.
an
It's like in
equal count.
baseball. You watch a strike zone. If one team's getting them calls just outside the short corner, the other team better be getting them same calls that way.
That's true. But I think the ref count was equal for both of them, because I didn't see any discrepancies in the count. And I'm like, oh, all I saw was, like you said, Tyson Fury was looking right at the ref, and he was taking his time to get up. All I saw was. So after those 3 knockdowns in those 2 rounds, you can visibly see, Deontay was sucking air. He was like mouth wide open.
Oh yeah.
You can visibly see.
You
and
can see
once
it.
you get tired, that's when your mind goes. Your mind goes.
Because you could saw how his hands went from here to
Yeah.
here. You could saw how he'll throw a punch and put the hand down, and he's all open right here. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, dude,
and his
I mean,
coach is telling him, hey, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
He
He
was
get back
throwing
out
a
there.
punch and instantly and gasping for air.
Yeah.
He would spend too much time trying to throw that big right.
And then at the end there, like to say that they were even shoulder height, that's giving him too much. Them hands were closer to nipple height than anything. Like he was, like Sal said earlier. His corner should have threw it about 2 rounds earlier.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't, though. I'm glad they didn't.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like I said, he
Again,
complained
it's all about
that
letting the
last
guy
fight.
live another day.
I'm because to be honest with you, I'm glad they followed his directions because he employs them. I agree with what y'all are saying, but
Yeah, 'cause
I
if
think
he
about
said
it like
don't
he
do it,
employs you.
Yeah, if he
I
said
get
don't do it, don't
that.
do it.
I get that, but if you're not able to physically or mentally box again, what good is that?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And the whole
Don't
thing is
be.
about the whole thing of boxing is about your length of work. You know, it's a catalog of work, right? You know, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. These guys have lists of fights, hundreds of fights. Deontay Wilder's still brand new. Let the kid, the kid needs to have a catalog of fights. Now, granted, unless he's absolutely stupid, the money should never go anywhere. But you want to be able to continue to pick up and get yourself on another card and be the primetime fight again, a year from now.
Yeah, he's into the real estate business, so he's made some smart investments. So.
I know plenty of guys that are in the real estate business that are broke. That don't mean shit.
No, I'm saying I follow him on everything, and he's doing pretty good for himself, and not just real estate, but he's doing good for himself and through the real estate aspect. So I don't think he's hurting for money or he's gonna have to worry about it. And he lives in Alabama. It's everything like dirt cheap over there too. It's not like Florida. Yeah.
Tuscaloosa, yeah, it's real cheap in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, but he ain't living regular Tuscaloosa life.
Well, yeah, he ain't.
No, he ain't.
But let's be honest. Off of one Tyson Fury fight, I believe the first one, they made like 50, 60, 70 million
each.
I'm pretty sure.
Not each.
I think that was split each. I mean, I'm sorry, each. And I'm pretty sure that one fight paid off his house and his land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my thing is,
struggling for money.
I hope he's not doing the Allen Iverson where he's taking care of everybody.
Yeah.
With his whole entourage.
That's the thing. I mean, you're paying your group and you're paying your guys in your corner, right? So, you kind of get what you pay for these days. But I don't really see much of him out in public, though. I don't really. I don't think he's like Floyd, where he rolling with a bunch of cats.
Well, I know he does a lot for everybody in Alabama, for the youth and stuff like that. But other than that, he say he stay home with his family. He say he a family man. He like to stay with his family and his friends. And other than that, he don't really go to too much. He say he don't want that attention. He say his family is his main goal.
Well, I mean, of course you don't want that attention. I mean, you look at that path that Tyson showed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be flashy and be out there, you're going to start knocking dudes and giving them ring-sized knots in their forehead and paying them millions of dollars to go away.
Now, I have the official scorecards, not that they mattered, but I did go and look them up because all right, so we got 3 judges, of course, and something really funny. I think I text y'all. Top Rank. I mean, okay, first I thought it was Top Rank. I saw an interview with Bob Arum. Bob Arum say he didn't do it. He said it was the Nevada Boxing Commission. Like a couple hours before the fight, they changed 2 of the judges and the referee.
Yeah.
And yes.
That happens though.
But yeah, Bob said he don't know why they did it.
Yeah.
He said that he had nothing to do with it. He said that was just the boxing commission. So I don't know what the reason was.
Boxing commission actually used to try to keep who was going to referee the fights a secret.
Yeah.
That way they could try to limit the dirtiness of the sport. Then it just kind of came to be known that it didn't matter who the referee or who the judges were. They were all dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the mob got to him. All right, but we got Dave Moretti gave Fury 95, Wilder 91. Tim Cheatham, he gave Fury 94, Wilder 92. And Steve Weisfeld, he gave Fury 95, Wilder 92.
Kind of consistent.
Yeah, kind of seems consistent.
That's
I don't argue with it. I really do think that was a fair fight. The only thing, to your point, I think the only thing that anybody could sit there and argue about is, the clinch calls. Do you warn, and then off that warning, when do you finally say enough is enough and start to deduct?
Mm-hmm. Because the only reason I brought that up is because I'm like, if he would have stopped them from doing that, we would have saw a knockout.
Well, yeah, I mean Deontay would have fell no matter what.
He
That's
would have
what you're
fell
leaning
because he
towards,
was
right?
tired.
Yeah,
I
we would
was
have
like,
saw
yeah, he
a
finna fall
real knockout.
I
a
just
lot quicker.
Yeah, man. But this,
I mean, you look at these big guys, these big super heavyweight fights like this. It's different. It's always going to be different.
yeah.
The days of like I've always kind of wanted like Anthony Joshua to kind of turn into like what Mike Tyson was, just because he's got like that same kind of physical stature. Just a kid. The kid is a shit brick house of muscle, but he's just
Yeah.
He's all muscle for no
all of a
reason.
sudden.
He's so tight and robotic, and
He is, but I think that's his coaching, because I mean that's another kid that picked up boxing late. I mean, he didn't pick up boxing until he was 18. Because it was either pick up boxing and use it as your career and use it as a place to go, or he was going to end up in prison.
Yeah, he was on his way to jail.
He was on his way to prison. I mean, he had already been to jail like 2 or 3 times. That path was already kind of like there, and he made a change.
yeah, man, this was hard for you, boy, man. This was hard for you, boy. I felt like I was in the ring with him, man. I'm
You
like,
said that last night too. He's like, I felt like I was like,
Man.
give me a hug right now, boy.
man,
Bro, if I was
man.
there, I'd have gave you a hug, dog.
I ain't want no hug from you.
Oh, you remember?
No, no.
Nah, we brothers. No matter what happened,
I want no hug for you. No, we still brothers. We still brothers. I ain't want no hug for you though.
I salute to that. I swear, I remember that. I salute to that. I salute to that.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Hey, I ain't gonna never doubt that.
I'm like, Deontay, listen to your corner. Listen to your corner. Ugh.
All right, so
But he
Deontay
couldn't.
Wilder got his ass.
He was tired.
Moving on. Moving on.
He said,
So
Upcoming.
this
What we
weekend,
got,
title fight, WBO featherweight title, Navarrete versus Gonzalez,
What's it on, Justin?
ESPN Plus.
Okay.
Got it.
Then you got the 23rd in Atlanta on ESPN. You got Jamal Herring and Shakur Stevenson. That's for that WBO junior lightweight title. That should be a good fight. And then November 6th,
Yeah,
Showtime.
November 6th.
Canelo versus Caleb.
Yes, sir.
Yep, Caleb.
I want
Plant.
Caleb to knock his chin off his fucking face so bad.
Cause he's a freaking cheater.
Correct. He's a he's a juicer. That's all.
He a freaking cheater.
He's a steroid freak.
I can't stand his punk tail. And all these Mexicans, oh, he's the greatest ever. He's the greatest freaking cheat ever. That's what he is.
He is, Jimbo, but turn your volume down, son.
No, forget that crap.
Turn your volume down, son, Jimbo. I gotta turn mine down. You heard me.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, that, like, nothing makes you look dirtier than saying, "No, we don't need to talk about no drug tests. We good?
Yeah.
Square, dog."
You heard what Caleb Plant said? Caleb Plant said the fight would have been done.
To tell me that some dude is right now putting the needle in your ass cheek while you're typing that shit out.
Caleb Plant said the fight would have been done. But he said Canelo wanted like an 8-week drug test when he said the standard is 12 weeks. And he said, Caleb Plant said, I'm not doing it if it's not 12 weeks.
I guarantee you, Canelo has his body ready to come off of a cycle so he can get into a cut. That way he is set up stamina wise, even coming off of that cycle, to be ready to go in that 8 weeks.
But that Shakur Stevenson, the Herring fight is gonna be fire.
That's gonna be good. And then in December, and then
Sean Porter.
There's some other fights going on.
Yeah, Sean Porter.
The Terrence Crawford fight, the
Terrence
20th
Crawford.
of November. That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Got some stuff across the pond too. So there's some stuff over in Latvia, some stuff from people that you probably never heard of. There's some stuff in on the 16th out of England. You got
the AJ rematch should be coming up this year too.
No. He broke his eye socket. He broke his eye socket.
Yeah, his eye got wobbly there.
Yeah, so that's gonna take time.
That's probably a
Well,
6
early
month
next
delay
year
there.
then.
Yeah, they said it might be like
he-
May March ish.
What is I've never heard of the Bridgerweight.
What?
The who?
Bridgerweight?
I never heard of that either.
So it's the 22nd of October in Montreal on ESPN Plus. It's Oscar Rivas versus Ryan Rozicki, 12 rounds for the vacant WBC Bridgerweight title.
I never heard of that in my life.
Let me see if I can.
WBC always making these freaking belts.
What is it, like 80 pounds?
Belts out
God.
of nowhere. Belts out of nowhere.
There's a lot of belts out there.
It's too many belts.
There is. There's too many belts out there.
Too many belts.
That's because everybody a champion.
So this is a weight class only used by the WBC,
Oh.
named after a 6-year-old American named Bridger Walker, who saved his 4-year-old sister from a stray dog in July 2020. The established weight for boxers is between 200 pounds and 224 pounds.
That's
That's the new one that they tried to get Deontay to go into instead of heavyweight. Because they wanted to move him out the way for Fury and Joshua to go at it after he lost the second time. Because they like, hey, we're starting a new weight class.
You have to drop 20 pounds for that. Which I'll be honest with you, some guys it's easy. Some boxers it's way easier to cut than it is to gain.
Yeah.
Like Tyson's always going to be that guy that's going to struggle to get down under 300 pounds. And I think Deontay is going to be that guy that struggles to actually put weight on.
Put weight on. Yep. I really want to know how much Deontay weighed fight night. I want to know how much Fury weighed fight night.
He weighed.
So a lot of people they balloon up after they eat that meal. You know what I'm saying?
After that weigh-in, a lot of them guys go and start shoving pasta down there. You know.
Yep. Yeah, I really want to know how much they weigh.
What was that other fight that you were talking about?
Porter versus Crawford.
And Porter?
Yep.
That's the 20th of November.
Which
Vegas. That's ESPN and pay-per-view.
I want to see how much this pay-per-view going to cost because I heard a lot of people complaining about the cost of this pay-per-view right before Thanksgiving.
Well, it's going to be probably $60.
I think it might be more.
What?
More?
I think it might be more.
Well, yeah, I can see that because everybody's trying to recoup off of COVID.
Just about to say, Bob, top rank, he said he lost a lot of money during the pandemic. And he said he didn't want to put this fight together because he knew that he'll lose money.
It's all, I hate to say it, it's all kind of like it's a wash of money, man. It's just like you pay guys when there's nothing going on, your payroll is still going out.
Yeah.
But like the money coming in that Bob just made is stupid.
Astronomical.
Correct.
Bro, yeah.
So it's a wash. It's like listening to that asshole that owned the Miami Heat, that Wayne Huizenga guy that used to own Blockbuster Video, talking about I make no money off the Miami Heat, and it's a loss of money for me. If that was a loss of money for you, you wouldn't be in that business.
That's a lot.
And they got a shared revenue. So I don't
Correct.
think really anybody's losing money.
They get TV contract money,
Yeah.
shared revenue. They get a majority of the jersey sales
Yep.
and the merch. You're telling me that you weren't making money hand over fist off LeBron James jerseys, Dwayne Wade jerseys,
I'd
Ray
be about to say
Allen
Dwayne
jerseys?
Wade.
Shit.
Still making money off of them.
Correct.
Still
All right,
making
so
money.
the 27th of November, you got a Showtime. So you got Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton.
They got a fight Thanksgiving weekend? I think. Oh, that must be on Showtime. It might not be pay-per-view, though.
Yeah, it's Showtime.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. I ain't going to say
Yeah.
nothing then. Okay.
Now, Ryan Garcia fights the 27th.
That freaking punk. I can't stand his tail. Hey, what about this Tank versus this Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero fight? I think that's
goodness.
bull crap. And guess what? It's pay-per-view.
What?
Is it?
It's pay-per-view. They Floyd Mayweather said it.
They charge for anything these days.
It's
I mean,
pay-per-view.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I've got the I don't think it's set in stone because I got the ESPN schedule up that's updated today at 1:17, and it's not on here.
No, that's a Floyd Mayweather promotion.
Oh,
That's him by himself.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
Floyd thing.
He not with PB. Well, he with
well,
PBC.
ESPN, their schedule has everybody. It doesn't matter.
No, but I'm
Not
saying
doing-
like the CEO and Floyd and Tank and Romero, they all of them announced the fight. I want to say a couple days before Deontay Wilder fight.
Mm.
And they said it's gonna be Leonard Ellerby said it's gonna be on pay-per-view. I said y'all got to be some idiots.
Well, I mean,
Who gonna pay for that?
Be honest, man. I mean, those them stupid ass Jake Paul fights made money. I would have. You couldn't have paid me to watch that shit.
That's not
For real, I didn't watch any of it. I didn't watch Floyd fight him. I said I refuse to watch that.
To give that asshole a moment of my time,
Yeah.
I agree.
because all that's doing it's already muddying a dirty sport that doesn't have a good reputation.
Now you just laughing at it with Jake Paul. You just laughing at it.
Correct. You get guys in there that have no business. I did not enjoy the Conor McGregor stuff either. Because you're talking about two guys that, you're talking about a boxer going up against a guy that is not what he's good at. I felt like that should have been a two fight deal. First fight, the boxing fight. Hands down, that goes to Floyd all day, every day. Second fight should have been in the octagon.
Floyd ain't stupid.
I get
I
that.
was like,
I get
born
that.
that night, but
But
not
in order for me to care about that, that's how that has to go. And I'm not going to care about it otherwise, because that just it's
killed in the octagon. Florida boxer, not a fighter. He a boxer.
Yeah, he'll probably die in the ring in the octagon.
Yeah, he'll die in
literally.
the octagon. Yeah.
He
You didn't want to put McGregor and Floyd in no octagon.
well. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you take a guy that his principal thing is boxing, and you put him in the octagon. No guy that's a true MMA professional is going to beat the shit out of him, because they already know they have the full advantage from the time the bell sounds.
Right.
And especially a guy like Conor that, one, can throw, and then two, can take it to the ground as well.
But anybody else got anything to say about this fight? Because I'm gonna give my last whatnots.
I mean, I believe Tully and I were right from the rib, weren't we, Tully?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what it was in that shit? I mean, I
Y'all
go back
were.
and look at it, but I mean, I believe you and I've been saying it from the get-go that
As much as it pains me to say it, y'all were.
yeah.
Y'all were right.
I mean, Brandon wasn't saying nothing in there, but I mean, Telly and I were in there talking shit.
I'm just saying, dude, when you look at the first two fights, actually Tyson Fury won the first one, but we ain't going to talk about that one. But that second one, he destroyed him. And the thing was, what I was saying is, Deontay can't change in 20 months. He couldn't change who he was in a short period of time. And they was trying to hype that up. Oh, he different. He going to come out there. I'm like, you can't change who you are.
No, I mean, what Sal said earlier was correct. I mean, Tyson Fury is what, a third generation, fourth generation boxer. That's his bloodline. That's all he's ever done. That's all he's ever known. Deontay, again, another one of them guys that picked up boxing late. Is he a power puncher? Oh my God, yeah. That dude could knock a cow out. But up against a true boxer, he got schooled. It happens.
Yeah. A boxer with power. That's correct. The thing.
And I think if Deontay continues to listen to his corner and become a better fighter, then I think moving forward, Deontay could be an absolute legend in the sport. But he just got to, he's got to just become a better refined boxer.
Yeah.
That listens to his corner.
Yeah.
All right.
Then he'll be a dangerous man.
Final word for the one.
Oh yeah. Deontay could definitely be like the most dangerous dude in the sport, without doubt.
If he learn how to box, ain't nobody gonna touch him.
You got something you got to say, Brandon?
You ready to get off, ain't you?
I already see that stupid smirk. He about to say something dumb.
It's a nice little smirk, though.
You just know it, Brandon.
Because everything you and Teddy just said, he better shut it down. He better shut it down. No, brother, go ahead. I already chimed in. I was like, if Ronaldo could be more disciplined, because of course he wasn't listening. You got to be disciplined in a sport. You got to be disciplined. He wasn't disciplined at all. I understand being excited and this, that, and another, but you got to be more disciplined. You got to be. Going against somebody like Fury, you got to be disciplined. But go
Let's
ahead.
be honest. I mean, we will never know the amount of hype and like adrenaline that runs through your body like that before
Right,
a pay-per-view fight where you know that there are just absolute millions and millions of people watching.
right.
Like that's a level of adrenaline that like none of us will ever know. Especially this fool.
So Tyson Fury won. You guys were right.
In the chat in the chat now, B.
Tyson Fury won. You guys were right. It was an awesome fight. I enjoyed every second of it. I was nervous before the fight started. I was nervous during the fight, and I was nervous and I almost started. Almost. I ain't gonna. Let me stop
You better not
lying.
say that. You better not
Easy
say
Let me
that.
stop lying. But listen,
Easy now.
listen.
Yeah, you better
You
not
know,
say that.
my guy lost, but you want to know what?
What up?
He will forever be the people's champ. He's
I thought
still
that
the
was Dwayne
champ.
Johnson.
He's still the
Right.
champ. You know what I'm saying? I love what he does for his community. I love the kind of guy that he is off the ring with his family. I got nothing but respect for him and the heart that he showed that I knew he had. And let's face it, just like Tyson Fury said, he was the only one that can beat him. And Tyson Fury said that he's number one, Deontay Wilder is number two. Deontay would dominate anybody in the heavyweight division other than Tyson Fury. So,
AJ.
so well, listen, your turn over. So,
He gave you time, man. He gave you time.
I will say though, Jimmy, I believe your definition of champ and chump are backwards.
no, he's the people's champion, and he's
I
still
wouldn't say he a
listen.
chump, nah. I wouldn't call
He's
him
still my champion, and he's still the champion of the black community. He's still the people's champion. So that's 3 belts, and he's still a champion in boxing alone. Period. Now, and not only that, if he were to fight Tyson Fury 100 times, I'll put my money on him 100 times because I believe in my brother,
All right, now don't
no
lose your money,
matter
bro.
what.
When it comes to money, don't put it too much into
I
something.
believe in him, no matter what.
You can't keep
No
going
matter what.
up, man.
I guess I'm gonna go broke because I believe in my brother, and
got a
I
bed-
know
hey,
he can do
Jimbo,
it.
You go broke, I got a bedroom for you, my guy.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank you.
got one for you, my
Thank
guy.
you.
Oh, don't worry, Jimmy. I'll let you cut my yard.
and you know, oh man, he lost, and I just hope that he goes and rest, take some time off,
I hope
because
he'll
his trainer said that he never took any time off, and he said that he told Deontay he thought that was a mistake, but you know, you live and you learn, and
So, who would be next? Joshua?
no, Joshua just activated his rematch clause for Usyk.
Okay. So,
So
then Wilder's got to take some time off then.
yeah, I think he has to. Only other person is available because WBC said that that freaking chump,
Dillian White.
what's his name? Dillian White is the new mandatory
Dylan White, yeah.
that Tyson
Yeah.
Fury has to fight before
If
he
he
goes.
wasn't gonna
That's
fight
not this year
Usyk.
either.
Tyson Fury is going to murder Dillian White.
Yeah, but that's going to be what, February?
It might be
It may
January,
be.
February. Yeah.
It's got to be. I mean, Tyson usually goes about 6 months in between fights.
But I don't think he want to wait that long. You know what I'm saying? I think he want to get that fight out. I think he want to fight him close to when Usyk and Joshua fight.
Then maybe
So-
that might be a Christmas deal then.
I think that'd be smart. You know what I'm saying? To fight close together so y'all get the same amount of time off. Y'all
Yeah.
get that contract going for Undisputed and get that out the way.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna crush Dillian White. Dillian White don't stand a chance.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we all know that Tyson can sabotage himself. Because I mean, he sabotaged himself the first time. He let himself get out of shape. He partied too hard. He started hitting the drugs. I think he's better than that now. But you know, some of them demons are hard to get past.
Yeah.
It'd be I'd be interested in that in like a December fight. Because there really ain't much out
I
there
think
in
he's gonna
December.
spend some time with his newborn. Probably spend some time with his
Oh,
newborn.
he did have a baby. He did
Yeah.
have a
Yeah,
baby.
he just had a
Yes.
baby, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
7 month old. Well, he said 7 weeks, 7 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 7 weeks.
Yeah, man. Everybody, thank y'all for joining us once again on the
It's
final
good to
round
be back, man.
boxing
It's good to be back.
podcast.
Man,
And just want to let y'all know this one thing: today, now, and forever, it will always be. Bomb Squad! Forever. Forever. Remember that.
somebody hit the end button so we can go.
Remember that.
Somebody
Who's got
hit-
control of this? This is